Hello and welcome to Interactive Distractions, episode number 466. My name is Chris Fricchio, and I am here with Jason A. Stryker.
Hey, that's me. Hi.
And Geoff Torney.
What up, everyone?
And we are sans Travis right now. Not sure why, so we'll find out soon, hopefully, and he'll be okay. we haven't heard from him today, so I'm hoping that he's doing all right. We're going to do a little bit of games first, and then we got one news item. But before that, we're going to see how things are going. Geoff, what's up, dude?
Hey.
Something you wanted to chat about.
Oh, it's nothing big. Yeah, it's just an update with the headset and the Pulse Elite. Still awesome.
Yeah.
Still my favorite headset I've ever used. 2 issues have shown up.
Arisen.
One, I can't find mic monitoring on that thing.
Really? Oh, shit. Wait,
I
listening
tried
to yourself or like a side tone type thing, or
like just so I could it does such a good job of muffling outside noise.
Right.
Whenever I'm playing Helldivers and stuff, I just feel like I'm constantly yelling. it's really like I can't do it. Like I don't need to hear my own voice, but you know how sometimes it just lets you. It just sounds normal. I guess I don't know how to say it. Like go ahead.
I saw a couple of reviews and they did some mic tests. And it's not the best mic in the world. It's serviceable, but it'll peak and it'll clip if you're too loud. So there's that. But it probably doesn't have a side tone, which is you hearing your own voice.
Yeah,
I don't think it has that functionality.
Like the 3D did, and I have just as we were waiting here setting up. I did look online and I did see that you can do on the settings on the PS3 level or PS5 level.
Okay.
And that can help, but I've seen people say that didn't help for them and had people be like, oh, well, it made a world of difference. So I have to give that a shot. The second one was every once in a while, it just disconnects, like straight up disconnects.
Oh, that's weird.
So
it's a fob, right? A USB fob?
Yeah. So I initially thought it must have just been a coincidence because it was only ever happening when my controller was low on batteries, where it would pop up and be like, oh, your battery's low. And I'd be like, okay, no one, I still have another couple hours. That's the way these things work.
These controllers are so hungry for power, they're sucking the energy out of your headphones.
The headset, exactly. So this is the first time it happened. And I was like, okay. So I switched controllers, turned it off and on, whatever, it's fine. So then it happened again when my other controller was dying. And I was like, okay, so is it somehow weirdly, like, does it think that the headset's low on? Like, I don't know what the hell's going on. Huh. And then it happened another time in the middle of playing Helldivers, which was annoying because it just cuts out everything. And I had to do like a hard reset of like the console or whatever. I'm like, what is going? So I looked it up, and it's also a widespread issue where there is a connection issue with the headset and the dongle. And the only workaround right now is literally to unplug the USB or hard reset your PS5. And then it's fine after that. So luckily it hasn't happened since the last time it happened, which was a few days ago. And I've been playing my PS5 like pretty much every day because of Final Fantasy. So fingers crossed that it doesn't happen often enough where it becomes annoying. So I just wanted to just put that out there in case people are looking to buy this. Maybe look into it. Maybe they'll patch something. I don't know. And maybe it's not happening to like the majority. Like I just found a Reddit thread on it. So, that's it.
Can you update firmware or anything?
You can't. I don't think you can force it. I think it just does it when it has one. So I wasn't, as far as I know, it's updated to when I first got the headset, it did do an update.
Okay.
So I'm hoping they do something with that. But again, it's only happened 3 times, and it hasn't happened since the 3rd time, which is probably about 3 days ago.
Okay.
So fingers crossed. And another thing, the battery life on these things are they last forever.
Great.
I have not charged it yet since I took it out of the box.
Oh wow, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's like I don't do crazy marathon gaming sessions, but Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
The planar stuff doesn't use a ton of energy like a regular
Oh, really?
does. I guess so.
That's got to be it, because it's easily double what the official Xbox Series ones do. And I think I saw in the box it's says 30 hours, but I would not be surprised if it's pushing more than that, because I feel like since I've gotten this headset, I've put more than 30 hours in. I think because I have 50. No, that's about right, because I think I started using it with Final Fantasy, and I think I'm at almost 30 hours in Final Fantasy. So it all checks out. Okay. Actually, the math might actually be bang on.
That's
so we'll
really
see.
Good.
Yeah, it's still really awesome. I have not even. Yeah, it hasn't even popped up with a thing yet saying low battery. So
that's
there's that
30 controller charges right there.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. See, I've definitely charged my controllers way more in that amount of time. For sure. I'm keeping those on constant rotation.
I do too, yeah.
I need to get a third one just for the hell of it. Oh man, but that's it though.
We have an Eclipse to buy more stuff.
Yeah, we have an Eclipse thing happening here, but I'll let Chris talk because he's actually going further than I am for the Eclipse. But we'll talk about that. I'm sure.
Well, there's one more thing about the headset, right? Because you got back to me, and you said the mute button on the controller.
The mute button, yes, the mute button on the controller does control the mute button on the headset. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I checked that out first thing the next day.
Yep.
I double checked on the original Pulse. After we talked, I jumped online and just double checked it to see if they changed it via firmware or software. And they didn't. You push the button and it actually a message comes up and says that button won't mute those headphones. It literally will give you a message that says that. But you still, if you mute it on the headset, it will light up the light on the controller. It's weird. I don't know.
Funny because I didn't even know that was a fucking button until you brought that up last week. I had no idea that was a button. And even with the headset now, I still do it manually just because I'm so used to it.
You're used to it, right? Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. But like Geoff alluded to, I'm this weekend that we are. The fam and I are heading to just south of Indianapolis to be in totality for the Eclipse this weekend. So, the Eclipse is on Monday. And I started thinking back and I'm like, you know what? I don't think I've ever been in the totality of an Eclipse in my lifetime. So, and this is the last one that's going to pass across the U.S. or North America, I should say. For I think 20 years is the next one, something like that.
I'll catch the next one, whatever.
Yeah, I just catch it. So yeah, we're heading up there with the kids. This should be a good time. My kids' school does a remote day thing, so we've set up remote days for Monday and Tuesday. Nice. I'm hopefully going to set it up so we can have Wi-Fi in the car, so they could do their homework in the car on the way home. There's something like that.
Hotspot or something, or?
Yeah, do a hotspot or something like that. I don't know. Figure it out. But yeah, it should be a good time. And Geoff, I know we were just talking about it, so I'll kind of bring it up. We were originally going to go to Niagara.
So were we.
Yeah,
and then up the road from us.
Yeah, so it's only what, an hour or so south for you. We were gonna do what we did for the honeymoon and go to fly into Buffalo and then drive over. And when we looked at the price of tickets, it was getting up to $600 a ticket or something like that. And this is 2-3 months ago. And I'm like, I just don't know if I can justify spending $2,000 for a weekend, And that's when we started looking at, other options and we went back to Indianapolis. But yeah, I heard that Niagara is calling for a state of emergency.
They're calling for a state of emergency on Monday.
Yeah. There's going to be 1 million people coming into Niagara for the Eclipse and things like that. And I'm just like, oh man, I am so glad that we decided not to do that. I couldn't even imagine.
Airbnbs and hotels are charging an arm.
Yeah, I'm sure they are forever.
And
fuck, even the hotel that I got in Columbus, Indiana, was $200 to $300 a night.
Wow.
And it's just I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I could have stayed in a shitty motel for $100 a night, but I don't want to do that.
No.
Yeah. Don't know what happens in those rooms.
No, we were going to do the same. We were going to go to a city called St. Catharines, which is just outside of Niagara. Because as long as you're in the path, you don't have to go. Like a lot of people go to these meeting spots, like these like hot spots or whatever. We were like, we don't need to do that. We just need to, we'll make like a picnic type deal and go up there. And then we're like, no, we're not doing that. So we're gonna go the other way, a little bit out of the way for us, a little bit longer, probably about an hour and a half drive, but to kind of like the middle of nowhere, this small little kind of like cottage town type place. So we're gonna go there and just see what happens. But
nice.
Yeah, we called an audible on the close to Niagara. It's gonna be chaos.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. I I looked around at what's
yet.
We did.
Okay.
We did. Yeah.
We just got ours. Good.
We looked around at what was in Columbus, Indiana, and I was like, of all things, they have a Dave and Buster's. So Monday we might just like go hang out at Dave and Buster's, and then around 4:00, like head out and like
some arcade size mobile games and
arcade size,
some cheesy tots,
giant fruit ninja and whatever.
Yeah. Some let's make a deal, and not let's make a deal.
That's how you know the human race is going the wrong fucking direction, man. Arcades have now become giant mobile phone games.
Yeah.
I hate it. Anyway. But yeah, that's it for me. Jason, you have anything to add? Are you good?
No, I'm good. Yeah, things are good here. So
good shit.
Well, let's talk some games then. What's going on with the games? Who wants to go first?
Should we start with the hot demo?
Yeah,
we should. All three of us played it, right?
Sexy demo.
Mm-hmm. I played a little bit. Yeah.
What do you think?
So Stellar Blade is what.
Oh yeah, we should probably name the game, shouldn't we?
Probably name the game. So, so the Stellar Blade demo came out, and I know for, I don't remember what all of us said, but I know that when we were doing like our hot takes on it, I was cautiously optimistic because I didn't want it just to end up being a TNA game that had no gameplay.
Yeah.
I'm certainly more optimistic now after the demo. Like it felt pretty good. I've got I am certainly not good at the combat yet. Like there's still some things that I think I need to figure out. I only played through the demo one time. But like some of the different moves, the different options they give you to dodge and perfect parry and counter, and like there's a lot of different options there. But a lot of them are also very specific. So it's going to take some time to get used to that.
Sure.
Like,
you will.
I know. Yeah, I think so too. But it's a very pretty game. It is a very pretty game.
I was surprised at the production value, honestly.
Yeah.
That was one thing I kind of thought outside of the character model would be kind of like, like those 360 PS3 era games where it's a lot of like narrow corridors, which this kind of is, but at least it
is kind of like that. But
it is kind of like
really
that.
Shiny coat of paint on it.
And it's got some more geometry happening with the environments to kind of make it look more modern. But yeah, it is technically kind of still that.
Yeah. In a good way. Like I miss those. I like that era. I like that style of game in that era. So this is a throwback to that, and I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I'm digging it. I was pretty surprised by the cutscenes are well directed and the cinematography, so to speak, look cool.
I was pretty impressed at the
jiggly boobs, Chris. You like the jiggly boobs.
The lip syncing. The lip syncing was really good. Like I tend to, I don't know why, but I tend to look at that and just get an idea. It like helps me understand like what kind of effort they put into like facial animations and things like that. But like when she's talking, it looks like those are the words that she's saying
in her British accent.
Right.
In her British accent,
the
Korean model with the British accent.
Yeah, they know, like they were like, oh, Bayonetta did really good. They were successful at this. Let's do that.
Speaking of Bayonetta, that's it's hard to not compare the two. And what I noticed about Stellar Blade is that they take themselves really, really seriously, where Bayonetta really doesn't.
No.
And I think that hurts the tone a little bit. And why I like Bayonetta so much is because they're not self-serious. They're
she was sassy.
Yeah,
like she was very sassy.
Yeah, they weren't doing like a parody or anything like that.
No,
or even
it was self-awareness, right? And that's kind of what it was all about.
But I think Stellar Blade is lacking that, and when I look at this character and this model, I don't see a lot of like character. I don't see anything behind the eyes really.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to make that connection, I guess.
I see what you're saying, and like from the demo, she does feel kind of generic.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I am far enough into knowing what that game is about to make a call one way or the other there.
Yep. I'm just this is my knee-jerk.
Yeah, sure.
First initial impressions.
Yeah. But the comparison to Bayonetta is an obvious one. But I will say that when it comes to like I felt like the combat of Bayonetta was definitely easier to jump into and it was more flashy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think this feels much more technical.
It's a more stylized kind of like Souls speed to it. It's dodging, it's parrying, it's being like you got to be like tactical in a way of when to attack, when not to attack. Yeah, it's not as spammy, but that could be a good thing or a bad thing, because I do think the problem there is I don't think she controls well enough to kind of do that very, very well. Like at first I thought it was input lag. I was like, there's some fucking input lag happening on this.
No, it's just the animations in general.
There's a huge buffer on some of the stuff. Like I hit like a 3-hit combo or something like that, but I stop after the second hit, she'll still put out that third hit. Is that what you're talking about? Like
that and also the dodging. She doesn't dodge on the first frame. She takes a step and then dodges. Yeah. So if you want to dodge something, the timing isn't quite like Souls games or even like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, where you see an attack, you hit dodge, she does it. Like you have to kind of do it a little before. And her parry has an animation before the parry frame seemed to start. So she takes her hands and raises it, and then it parries. Yep. Yeah, and which is fine. But you just got to make sure you're not hitting that button when you're about to get hit. You have to hit it before you get
hit.
Before.
And it makes it more difficult too because they chain things together.
Yeah, no, the window's fine. You can do it earlier than you should, but it's not like what I liked about those games. Some of them had the window, but also had it. You could hit it late, where it's like the attack's not hitting you, but you can still do it because that animation. Like if you pull up, or look, Metal Gear Rising, Revengeance, like those parries happen instantly. Like their hands quickly go up there, boom, boom. Where she literally has a
snappy,
like a 1 second, half a second motion where she moves it up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same with the dodge. So it just took a bit to get used to it. I don't think it was. At first, I thought it was input lag, and I was like, no,
I think that lends itself more to the technical nature of the combat in general, though. And that's the thing. It's like I made the mistake immediately of jumping into this like it was a character action game, and I got my ass handed to me, and that's just kind of what happened. Like the first few enemies, it was
but it's just like you got to be a little more methodical.
It's slow, it's a bit slower than that and a bit more methodical, like you said. It's not as fast and quick paced as Bayonetta. That's where that comparison, I believe, is going to continue to be made. But once I started getting used to it, it started to click a bit more. I'm still trying to understand like all the mechanics. Like they've got she's got the special attacks that you can hold down block and use and hit the attack button to get some more power. There's several skill trees that I haven't really explored yet. I just kind of looked at some of the evasion techniques that they've got, and then of course the one that they give you right before you face the boss at the end of the demo. That one
was confusing at first, until you just wait till your sword lights up. Just look for that, then you do.
Yeah, because I made them like initially it was when I was trying it like I saw them. The enemy did the blue flash animation or whatever it is that I was looking for, and then I would press forward and dodge, and nothing would happen, right? So, and then the good thing is that I will say that like they've got a pretty good you can go into training right from the skill tree
Nice.
menu, right? So that's really nice, is that you can jump into
nice
that
quality of life. Yeah, like Devil May Cry, or I think Bayonetta actually made it.
Bayonetta did that too.
Yeah, Bayonetta did it too, I believe. But and so I went into there and I practiced it a couple of times, and you know, once you get the understanding of what exactly you're trying to do, it makes it a bit easier. I picked up another move that's like, once you perfect dodge, you can hit square to attack, to counterattack. And for some reason I could not get that counterattack to come out. So I don't think it was, I think it was
those are the two ones it tells you to do, right? The perfect dodge one?
It's the one it tells you to buy is the blink. The one that blinks you the other side.
The first one it tells you is the dodge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a perfect dodge.
Yeah.
And then there's another one that you can unlock that is after you do the perfect dodge, you hit square and it does a counterattack. And for some reason I couldn't get that to go off. And I'm wondering,
are you sure it's not triangle? Because the one I was doing is triangle. There's
one for square and one for triangle. The triangle one costs more, so I didn't buy that one yet. But it was like 2 skill points. Yeah, in the tree, there's the perfect dodge, and then there's the counterattack for square, and then just down from that is the counterattack with triangle. I mean, I have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure that's what.
Weird, because I've played through it 3 times, and I don't.
Have you?
The first one you get it's the perfect dodge, and you can counter with a triangle. That's the first one it forces you to open. It doesn't cost you 2 points. It's the first one it tells you where you go into the tutorial to how to upgrade stuff.
Yeah, he's
maybe it was an upgrade.
Further.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Down.
So
or something further
down.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering how you got an extra attack point, how you got an extra skill point.
I had a total of
3.
I want to say 3 skill points. Yeah, by the end. So I had one. I had one skill point. Yeah. I had one skill point that I unlocked. And I can't remember what I unlocked for that. I think it was there was one where it was when you do I don't remember. I'm not gonna waste time trying to figure it out. But and then I unlocked the blink, and then at the same time I unlocked the blink, I unlocked I had 2 at that time, and I unlocked the other counterattack one. So I only played it once, though. I want to go back and play it again. I just haven't yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's good, and it's hard.
It was fun
at first, but the second time I went through, it was so much easier, because once you kind of get a grasp of even the few things that I was like, oh no, is this going to be kind of like a Souls thing where I'm going to be busting my head? But like, no, second time through, like the second or third time I fought that boss in the main part of the demo, it was like cakewalk. It was like, okay, now that you know how, because another thing is like the parrying took a while, not just because of the timing, but you're not just parrying one attack. Like you're gonna have to go parry, then go in there. That fucked me up quite a bit at the beginning.
Did you guys feel like it was canceling out of attacks well when you were trying to parry?
No.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it was either.
Not at all.
Like you had to be at the end of an animation for an attack to actually get a parry up. And
that's where I think that's where my comparison saying it's not doing the fast character action that well, and it's not doing the Souls methodic action that well, because even something like Sekiro, like you can parry like fucking on a dime, and that's it's kind of like in the middle. It's like a middle weird timing thing you kind of have to get used to.
Yeah. But I noticed that especially with like multiple attacks, I would do a parry, and then I could get like one swing in, and then I would parry again from their chain. And there were a couple of times when that would happen, but I don't ever feel like the parry is doing much. Like I don't know.
It's bringing down their stand guard or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that like 2-3 times in a row, the parry, they'll get into like a stagger state, and you can hit triangle and do like a major damage, like kind of
I see.
type
yeah.
So yeah,
gotcha.
it's their stance guard or gauge or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's your.
You'll see these gold pips underneath their health. And each time you counter, it gets rid of one of them.
Okay, I'll have to go back and try it again.
That's how you make really quick work of that boss there. Did either of you guys try the optional boss? I didn't do that.
No,
I didn't. I got to the. I was able to beat the boss without on the first try, but he had me at like 1 pixel of health, and I had used all my potions already. So it was like, and I was doing the running in a circle thing for a while. Like every time they started shooting lightning, I was like, fuck, and I'm just like running around. But yeah, it was fun. I'll certainly pick the game up. I think it was good enough for me to feel like it's a buy on my end. So Good for them.
I'm still waiting for reviews only for. I hope the whole game is that good because the demo's kind of hard. I'm still kind of like, did they do that from beginning to end? But I'm
some
sure
of the stuff that you see at the end of that demo, though, man.
Oh, it looks insane.
Like I want to learn how to do all that shit.
Yeah. Dude, I hope they're not going to do it, but I don't know if this happened to you guys, but like once you get the what's his name? I can't remember the guy who's in the demo, but he's in like the drone.
The one that's the drone, yeah.
It's too low and he follows a bit too far back. Every time that motherfucker was on the side of the screen or behind me, I thought it was an enemy every single time. Every time. And I could tell myself,
fucking
that's
creeper.
just him. Yeah. I'd be like just walking around, be like, oh shit, there's an enemy.
He's trying to get a low angle on,
yeah, I know. Yeah.
Trying to get a view.
What he's doing.
Yeah.
Perv.
No, I'm pleasantly surprised, man.
Yeah,
Jason, did you like it overall?
I was too.
Overall, yeah, I totally liked it. This is coming from somebody who liked Oni Chambara. So not that my standards are low, but I just really like character action games. So I'll take what I can get when they come around. And this
I think I got an Oni Chambara around here somewhere. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I genuinely am surprised by how good the combat is. I don't care for the wrappings, the trappings of this game at all. I think it's just I'm not gonna front. This game is a B game. It's not getting any higher than that, but it's got fun combat. And there was another game that came out a year or two ago, Evil West. That is
game's fucking
awesome. Very much a B game, but the combat was fun. That game ruled, and there's potential for this game to be something like that. What I'm disappointed in is the stupid fucking discourse that is surrounding this game. I don't want to get into it, but fucking A.
It's a video game.
Sucks. Yep. I'm just fucking plugging my ears and just going la la la.
It's fun. That's all that matters, man.
Has there been discourse on social media?
There is absolutely
God.
Discourse.
Yeah.
Gamergate is back. Gamergate is back.
Basically.
Yeah. Gross.
People are up in arms on both sides, and it's just like, oh gosh, if the game's good, who cares if what she looks like? And
I just think it's funny that they do it on a game like this, but there are things like One Chambara that have existed for years, and no one's ever talked about it.
Yeah, they're really gonna.
Have you seen that game?
On this hill, is still playing. This is your bastion to fucking end wokeness. Come on.
Have you heard of Lollipop Chainsaw? Let's talk about that for a second. Well, I think there was backlash on that one too. So.
Well, I don't know. I think back then it was more just laughed at. That's the way it should be. Look at this ridiculousness, but it wasn't outrage. I don't think that I remember anyway. Yeah. Oni Chambara is the Bikini Samurai, Bikini Squad or whatever the hell that was.
Samurai Squad.
The Bikini Samurai Squad. I remember Jason talking about that back in the day. It was just something we laughed. It wasn't It was just something we laughed at. This game is stupid, but it's whatever.
There's room for cheesecake shit like that in our fucking society and culture.
Exactly. Have both.
It's okay.
Have both. Mm-hmm. It's fine. What was the game who had the one hand mode? Was that Lollipop Chainsaw?
No,
you can play the game with one hand.
Was
that Bayonetta?
Yeah, Bayonetta.
Oh shit, that was Bayonetta.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's. Grain of salt, guys. It's
no kidding.
Whatever.
But overall, pretty happy with it. I'm gonna play it again, see how I like it, and if I get through it again and I get good feels, I'll probably pick it up.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna get it regardless. Yeah, I had a good enough time with it, but my expectations are very low.
Yeah,
very low.
I've definitely played a lot worse, no matter how this game turns out. Sure. So the demo is better than a lot of stuff I've played.
Definitely played worse character action games too. So cool. Game's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Oni Chambara is the EDF of fucking character action games.
It totally
It went on sale today. TBD posted it, and then I retweeted it, and I literally said Stellar Blade before Stellar Blade. Yeah. It's like it's that's funny.
Oh,
that it
EDF went on sale?
No, Onichibara.
Okay. Yeah. Onichibara. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Good stuff.
Crazy.
What else we got?
I got more B games we can talk about.
Yeah.
Talk about some B games, man. I love B
Actually,
games.
I'll just mention this quick because I'm not too much further, but I'm still kicking it with that Outcast New Beginning game. It's starting to hit a bit on the repetitive side. I can see where some of those critiques came from and those criticisms. It is a lot of go here, kind of liberate this base, then do a bunch of fetch quest type stuff. But I did open up the glider, so now I can get around that map pretty quickly, and that's pretty awesome. But again, it is a BS video game for sure, in terms of quality, not in terms of what like score would be. But yeah, so keep that in mind if you're interested at all.
I still put it on the wish list, man. That
I mean, if it's
traversal
really
and everything
cheap,
looks really fun.
Yeah, I really think like I can't recommend it to everybody, and it's got to be one of those like drought times for a lot of people. Yeah. Or even on a service, because it does have issues. Like it's not built like a modern day game. Like visually it looks fine. Visually it's actually, the art style's great. The voice acting's great, but everything that kind of wraps it up is just, it's talk about 360 PS3 era video game. But yeah, it's still cracking at it when I want a little bit of break from Final Fantasy Rebirth. Okay. Which I guess you guys have beat it, or no, Jason's beat it, so I'll just.
I am paused. Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
paused
you're on pause. It's ramping up for me now. I'm at the resort. Del Sol, whatever it's called. Is it Casa del Sol? Why do I want to? Yeah. Right. So I'm having fun with that. I'm going around on my little Segway. Is this the year of the Segways, by the way?
Segway.
With infinite wealth and now this.
Sure.
You drive Segways around.
And it's weird. It's like 15 years too late. Like the Segways were popular way back then.
Seriously.
Yeah, I don't understand why that's a thing at this point. I don't get that, but whatever.
Yeah, that's weird. And then didn't the Segway inventor die on a Segway? Wasn't that the irony of it all? He like drove himself off a cliff by accident.
I don't know if that's an urban legend or not, but
I don't know.
It checks out.
I hope so.
But yeah, no, I'm starting to really like it now. I'm starting to get a little bit of a grasp on Queen's Blood. I did the tournament that happens, just right when you get in there, I think.
More importantly,
yeah, it's fun.
Did you get the plasma burst? We talked about that.
I did. Sorry, I was going to get to that. Yeah, so that is actually, thank you so much for that, Jason, because it's something little, but it to me, it just made the combat way more enjoyable.
Sure. Yeah.
If anything, it gave me something to know to look at while I'm in combat. Like I know when that burst goes off, I have an ATB. I can do kind of like whatever and just keep building that up. And now I'm that video. I'm starting to add in the other things that it says to do, like with the steel materia and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so now I just focus mostly on Cloud and then get the other guys involved when I need to. But yeah, it's I bumped the difficulty back up to normal because I was playing on easy just because I just didn't really understand the combat. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. Like infinitely more.
Nice.
The combat.
Good.
So that's been fun.
That was the turning point for me too.
So it really is like that. When that thing goes off, it's just cool. It's just smash. I guess kind of slows down.
My biggest concern, even with that, is that you still have to switch characters. You know, you can only put the platinum burst on one character,
Cloud
right?
does most of the heavy lifting.
The heavy lifting, yeah.
Mm. And you can actually kind of. In a way, kind of program your other characters to do moves when something else happens. So it's like if Cloud casts fire, if he casts, or if he does anything from this materia, then Barrett will automatically do something that's linked to that. It's a synergy materia, right? And you can link the synergy materia with a different one and he'll do something. Yeah. Okay. So you can make sure that he does like a weapon skill at that point or like a heal or anything, and for the most part, I was kind of hands off with those guys and Cloud did most of the work. So I switched to, I think when I first started, I was trying to switch too much. and it was overwhelming, and it was frustrating because they didn't get the ATB as soon as Cloud did. So Cloud. But yeah, I think once I focused on like one particular character, then it was a little bit easier.
I'm starting to get the shortcuts in there, like your advice too. That's taken a little bit just because I think I just needed to get it to muscle memory.
Yep.
Because I'll just forget where I put everything, and then it's way more hands on with one character and kind of hands off, and not total hands off.
Yeah.
Chris, you do still need to do it, but it's like you go in there and like you get Cloud's first ATB. I pop is it Pulse? Is that what it's called? Plasma. And then I go to the other characters to build up their 1-in-1 to build up one of their synergy things, and then I just kind of go back to Cloud, and then just go fucking ham, and then when the synergies pop up, do those, and then just keep. It's like rinse and repeat. it's pretty fun. It's cool. Like I don't know if it's gonna get boring or if that's gonna work for most of the game, but from what I can tell, that kind of works. Like if you just want to kind of stick to that.
There's a ton
or versions of it.
Shit in that game, like all the side quests.
Yeah, it's repetitive. The game too,
and it's like nearly impossible to get the platinum on that. And I've seen so many people that are just like up in arms and like, "Fuck this! I'm not even gonna try this." So
it seems to pop trophies all the time. There's got to be a billion of them. Like it's a lot.
Yeah, but some of the other ones are insanely hard to reach. But
really,
yeah.
I don't really. I won't go for that. I'll sit on my Spider-Man 2 platinum as long as I can. That one was pretty easy to get. But no, it's working its way up there in my my favorite game this year so far.
Cool.
Not even by default now. Now it's like I'm actually like, this is actually I'm starting to enjoy it among its faults in terms of if you don't like repetitiveness and side quests and Chadley, like
Chadley.
Fuck, dude, he's got to be one of the most annoying characters in a video game, and not just because of his voice, but just because he's calling every time you do something in that game. He's like, "Hey, Cloud," I'm like, "Oh my god, stop!"
Oh, thanks for doing that, Cloud. Thanks.
Yeah, and then he's got to give you his fucking life story about why that's a thing. I'm just like, I don't care, man. Like Jesus Christ, but no, it's fun. I like it.
Poor Chadley.
I think I might like it more than the first one. Poor Chadley.
Poor Chadley.
The other characters are awesome. They're great. I love the banter between them all. They're fun.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to do any of the like romancing stuff, if there is any or whatever, because I don't know if I've even got to a part where I can.
Side quests. No. So the thing is with that is you're looking at all the quests that you get for a particular area. And if the background image matches like who you're trying to romance, go for that. That's who that's who you're actually getting the points from.
Okay.
So that'll be helpful. So if you want to just focus on Aerith or whatever, just do the missions where she's the background of that side mission.
Gotcha. That's good to know. I'll look out for those. Although right now I'm just on this resort and I'm trying to get my bathing suit, so that's priority number one right now.
Good. It should be.
Yeah. Oh, dude, sorry, I got that Rocket League type game with the Red 13. It's good. I see what they're going for, and I liked it. But man, when a game doesn't really control like Rocket League and tries to become Rocket League, it's not that fun. But I like the idea of that. That was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for me. Anyway, that's pass it on to one of you guys.
I'll go real quick. So the other outside of Helldivers, which I'm sure we'll talk about some more in a minute. I did finish up Princess Peach Showtime.
Yeah,
that is a fun little game. And she's got they give Peach like 10 different transformations. Some hit, some don't. Some definitely don't. Like the pastry chef one, I'm not a big fan of because it's basically just like mini games of making cookies and decorating cakes, and I'm like, whatever. And then there's like a mermaid one that I wasn't a big fan of, and there's an ice skating one which is fine but not great. But then there's things like Mighty Peach, which was super fun because it's like she's in like a space marine hero or whatever, and she can pick up spaceships and throw them around, and I'm like, yeah, all right, Peach, go get it, So, but it was a lot of fun. There's they do a good job of splitting things up a bit. So everything happens within the theater, like I was talking about last week. Mm-hmm. The theater has 5 floors, and there's 10 transformations. So you get a total of 2 transformations, 2 per transformation on those 5 floors. And then in the basement, there's an extra stage for each of the transformations where you essentially go and save the actor, the actual actor that you're channeling for your transformation. And then in between each floor, there's a boss that you face as regular Peach. Overall, it was just a fun little game that I had a great time with. It was a pretty quick burn. It was like 6 to 8 hours, and now my daughter's playing it, and she loves it. Nice. She absolutely loves it. I think she just finished the boss on the 2nd floor, so she's digging it. There are issues that I have, like the load times are awful. I don't know why the load times are so bad on this game, but they are. It's a flash drive, yeah, dude. That's what these are. And then they essentially have, there's a lot of situations where there's like inconsistent frame rates, and just not here and there. And what's weird is it's not during gameplay, so it's not like interfering with the actual gameplay, but like it kind of takes you out of the experience when you're like watching a cutscene and things don't really, they're not very smooth. So that's kind of weird. But the controls are fine. I wish they would allow you to move your buttons around, because by default, jump is A, and whatever your power is B. And they have it reversed. So where your finger rests on the controller, you're used to X or A being jump, and that's the B button.
Yeah.
So you can change it so B is jump, but then it makes A the other one. So it's going the wrong direction. I wanted to do A is jump or B is jump and Y as your attack. Mm-hmm. Because that's where my thumb rests. So I can press both those buttons easily, and that's pretty standard. But they only had 2 options. You either had it so it was set up A and B, and it's either jump and attack or attack and jump. And that was it. They just flipped those. And then each transformation, they'll give you like a little hint if you press X. They'll give you hints about like how it controls or whatever. But it was good. It was a good time. And I would suggest it to anyone who has, especially if you have kids. Mm-hmm. Like I think they'll get a kick out of it for sure.
Okay.
And it's just a really good little game to have Peach starring in, and I hope they do more with this moving forward. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be great to see more games where she's the focus. So, absolutely.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it for me. Besides,
maybe she'll be in Stellar Blade too.
No. I don't want to do that.
Helldivers.
That's a game.
What did I say last week? Yeah, I told you guys. Yeah, the Playing with Griffin.
That game's really good.
Yeah, that game's really good. Travis Scott, I was hoping he was going to be on so he could tell us about his experience, but he seemed to get it. Like he warmed up to it, I think. Like
pretty quickly.
Once he got some of the mission like structured, like he got it, and he's like, okay, this is fun now.
And when we gave him a little taste of some of the higher level weapons,
advanced stuff.
Yeah. Whenever someone dies, you go pick up their stuff, right? So, he got a little taste of some of the higher level main weapons, like the sickle and things like that. But yeah, like we had a couple of situations where explosions were knocking everybody around, and he was having a good time. So yeah, it was.
The oopsies are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Oh, Dragon's Dogma 2 update. I beat it. So
all right,
nice. All right,
I am far from done. I immediately went back into it because that's where the end game kind of starts, is after you beat the game. So I'm probably I stayed up late that night, and I got through like probably about a half of the game, like in just one sitting.
Wow.
Because I knew where everything was. It was easy to get through that stuff.
Is it a situation where like the first run through you did most of the stuff that you wanted to do, so you didn't? Okay.
And I kind of regret doing a lot of that stuff because you still have to do it again in the second playthrough. So there was a lot of stuff that I could have skipped in my first playthrough, but I'm kind of hitting a wall, I think, with this, and I'm getting diminishing returns as far as like the new weapons and shit. Like they give you a handful of new weapons and armor and shit in the second playthrough and then some, but it's really not anywhere close to what it was like during the first playthrough. I guess that makes sense, but it really is like a diminished like selection of things. So
is it just kind of like a typical New Game Plus then? So you just go in with your character and then you're kind of doing it again, or does stuff change?
I don't want to give too much away, but eventually stuff will change.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll say that.
Okay.
So there's incentive and reason to keep playing through this game. And like I said, like subsequent playthroughs are not going to be nearly as long as the first ones. So even if you're spending 50 hours before you reach the second town, like I did,
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah. I think Travis said he's on his third playthrough now or something like that. Or
he did.
Yeah.
But I
don't mind that.
I do think it's interesting though that the both of you basically had the same reaction there. It's like, hey, beat the game, immediately went back, started playing again.
And I have such a love-hate relationship with the game too. Like I could pick this game apart. If I just wanted to be just fucking critical of it, I could tear this shit up. But I'm having a good time with it. Like I'm really enjoying being in that world and stuff, and I'm enjoying the combat and the minute-to-minute stuff is really good, and the game looks good, and it's very atmospheric, and it just hits on a lot of levels. But there's some
that's sign of a good game, man.
That's weird. I don't know.
You beat a game and you want to jump right back in with New Game Plus. That's okay in my book. That's always a good sign. Yeah. Even if you don't play it an entire second playthrough, it's like, hey, you didn't just put it down and be like, all right, that's over.
Yeah, in reality, any game that you immediately go back to, to complete something else, like I more look at things like what we did with Spider-Man, where beat the game, immediately go back and play the rest of the stuff to get the platinum. That's like games that draw you in that much that you want to play it again. Like that's
on the opposite end of that. Like I don't like this new thing now where New Game Plus comes like 6 months after a game is out or something, because I would have played Spider-Man probably back to back if New Game Plus was available like at launch. Because I wasn't ready to really put that down when I got the platinum. Even I was like, I kind of want to go through this with all the power starting from the beginning, and then nope. And then it came out with it, and I just haven't had the urge to go back because I got other shit going.
Yeah, there's other games that you're playing.
Same thing happened with Ragnarok, and there's another game that did that recently too. Like I can't remember. There's another big game that didn't add it till later.
I was going to say Like a Dragon, but that's because they charged $20 for the New Game Plus.
Yeah, there's that too.
Fuck.
I'm surprised they haven't gone back on that yet, weird. Man.
Nope.
I thought for sure after that, I thought like within a week they'd be like, okay, we're going to unlock that for everyone. Nope. I need to go back to that.
I don't understand. Like, is there something special about New Game Plus for like
money?
If they feel like that they're willing to, or that they're justified to doing that?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't get it.
I don't know. I think it's in a bundle. I think that's the main thing. It's like, oh, and you get New Game Plus. It's like that. No, bitch, that should have been.
No, it's separate. Like there's a bunch.
Is it a separate thing you got to buy for $20
and shit that you get like along with it? But the main thing that you're getting is the New Game Plus.
Oh, which that's even worse than I thought.
It consists of like a new bit of story and shit like that. But just the functionality, just the hitting New Game Plus is going to cost you $20.
Yeah, that's not cool.
I don't like
that's very I was gonna say that's very unlike. Oh no, Sega didn't do Azura's Wrath. That was Capcom, right?
Yeah, it was Capcom.
Who charged you for the ending? That was pretty bad. That was real bad.
Oh, shit. I love that game, but oh my god.
Yeah, I never beat the game because of that. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yep.
Oh man, that game was fun though.
Was it like a dragon that charged, or was it infinite wealth?
Infinite wealth.
Infinite wealth. Yeah.
Infinite wealth. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why you would do that. Anyway.
Cool.
So I want to swing back to Helldivers real quick. Have you guys seen some of the new enemies they've thrown out in Helldivers?
I've been catching up on like Reddit posts and stuff. Like that shit has all been memeified, and so I've been following along that way. But
okay, we me and a few of the other people that are in the Destiny group that we usually play with, we're playing on trying difficulty level 7. It's like the first one that you can get the super samples in.
Sure.
And at one point they were like, "Hey, let's try a difficulty 8." And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, this is as far as I want to go. Like, let's just get the super samples and be done. But we were playing a mission and we were doing really well. Like, we finished all the objectives. We finished all but one of the optional objectives. And the final objective was right next to this big base that we had never seen before. All of a sudden, and this is automatons, like all of a sudden, not dropships, fucking fighters were coming after us.
That's fucked
and
up.
Trying to fucking mow us down. And at one point, there were like 4 or 5 of them. And I ended up dying. We ran out of reinforcements, and I see Nogric, buddy of Jason and mine,
crying in the corner.
No, he was I was watching his feed, like where he was, and I can't remember what the name of the missile launcher is, but he had one of the missile launchers with a backpack, so you could reload all the missiles. He ended up taking out 3 of the 4 drop ships, or the fighter ships that were trying to take him out. And we were trying to make a run for the extraction point and just never got to it. It was just, they just mowed us down. There's also, like, the what we all call ATSTs. They had the automatons that are on those shielded walkers. Now there are AT-ATs. There are 4-legged walkers that are.
I've seen videos of those.
Yeah. I am just.
Disney's coming for you any second now.
Yeah. No kidding. But they also gave us a new weapon called the pulsar cannon, which is awesome. It takes out dropships in one hit. It's great. It also works on chargers, by the way. You hit them in the head, it'll take out a charger in one hit.
Nice.
Yep. But that game is fun. It's frustrating as fuck sometimes, but it's still a lot of fun.
It can be super intense. Wow.
Yeah, it can. Yeah. To the point, but there are some points where it's just like, when are they going to balance this out? This is ridiculous. Like, there was quite literally no way for us to finish that mission that we were on. And when we finished the last objective, we had at least a dozen reinforcements. There were 4 of us, and we had at least a dozen reinforcements left. And those fighters just kept mowing us down, and we just couldn't.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy. But Helldivers is still great. I love it.
Indeed. Right now, it doesn't even look like it's got any steam, like going to lose any steam either. And you got to figure it's going to happen eventually, because if not, because they're not a huge team. They're a pretty small team, and the amount of stuff that they're putting out on an almost weekly basis, like new stuff. I'm wondering if this is the plan all along, because if so, that is one high standard that other games of service are going to have to try to keep up with, because
no shit,
having a roadmap, even it doesn't seem like a long time, but when did it come out? Like in February?
It's been, February it came out. So it's been out a month and a half, maybe almost 2 months.
So, we'll say almost 2 months just to make it easier. And it's been constantly updated almost every week to a week and a half to 2 weeks.
February 8th
with new things. Out. So it's been almost a month or
almost
2 months.
2 months. Yeah,
almost 2 months. And they must have they had to have had this plan, like to have a roadmap, and they just didn't say anything, and they just had it. This is what we're sticking to, because most games don't do that. Like, look at Suicide Squad just released their first content update with the Joker, and it was a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
Like even more of a disaster in that game when it first launched, apparently. Like I haven't played it, but I'm seeing a lot of like people talk about it, and I'm seeing a lot of quote unquote reviews of this, and apparently it just is not it. It's just not good. And then this team comes out of nowhere and just remodels the entire games as a service platform, it seems.
And here's what I will say. Here's what I will say that I really like about what they're doing. So they've got like premium armors and things like that, but a lot of the premium armors that you can get, I don't feel like there's any the statistical advantage to this armor, right? Like the armor that you can buy in the superstore, there are other armors that will give you the perks that are there, and they all fall into the standard of what like the light, the medium, and the heavy armors have. And the other thing that I really like is that yes, they have these premium war bonds that you can buy stuff from, and those have like a premium currency you have to use to buy them, but you don't have to use real money. They give you a way to get the super credits to buy those war bonds in game.
I've already got enough for the next one, which is
I do too. I have over 1,000 right now. So I haven't put. I spent the $40 on the game, and Jason, I know you put some extra in for the war bond, right?
Yeah, the cool.
I got the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. So I didn't get the first one. So by the time the second one came out, which I don't remember what it's called, but by the time the second one came out, I had 1,000 super credits, and I picked up that one right away and was able to get a bunch of some of the weapons that were in there, stuff like that. Now I have over 1,000 again, and I've got enough to get the next one, or I can go back and get that first war bond. That's
right, because they don't run out. So you can
they don't run out. And that's what they're doing right. It's like they're giving us more options and not taking it any away, and they're giving us other ways to get what they're offering. So I don't have to put in money. It just means that my route is slightly slower than the person that goes in.
A lot of other games do that, but they do it like it's more visible, and you can see the end of the tunnel, so to speak, like that end of the tunnel. Like it's not like how long do I got to play this? You can see literally on the free battle pass or free war bond where you get those credits and how you can plan to get them and open them up. So it's a lot easier than.
And then you get them in missions too. You can find them in missions.
Yeah, you can find them in missions. I do wish though that the premium ones did have a different currency to unlock everything. Because I've hardly unlocked anything in the first premium one I bought, just because you need a lot of the stuff that's in that free one, especially if you're not like at the level or at least level 20. Like once you get level 20, you can pretty much get most of the stuff you should have. I'm not quite there yet. I think I'm like 19. So I've only bought a few things with the in-game currency to get the stuff that of the premium war bond that I paid for when the game came out. That's what I just wish there was a little bit of a split there. At least now, like you guys are a lot higher level, so maybe you start getting what's it called, medals, like way more often.
The higher level you do, yeah. So for instance, on the level 7, the suicide missions, that level, when you do a mission chain, it's 3 missions, right? And the currency, the medals are distributed. The first mission gets you 6, and then the second mission gets you 8 more, and then the third mission gets you 10 more. Yeah. So now you're looking at 24, per mission chain. Yeah. So as you get to higher levels, it does help. But in reality,
that's like I figured it was going to be like.
Yeah. In reality, I don't think it's worth. I personally don't think it's worth my sanity to go higher than that, because it's already like the game is already pretty damn hard at level 7, and there's 8 and 9 after that, and the difference is, when it comes to, I know there's going to be a difference in medals, I believe, but from the perspective of the samples, which is the big thing that you're looking for at that level,
that's the hardest grind.
Right, those super samples, the super samples, you get 3 at level 7. At level 8, you only get 5, and at level 9, you only get 6.
So the juice isn't worth the squeeze, really.
Exactly. So it's like, why wouldn't I just? And then the other thing is that there's only one place where you can find them, the super samples. Like there's a specific rock that you got to look for, and they're always at that rock. Well, for level 7, you find one of the rocks, and all 3 of them are there. For level 8, you have to find 2 of them, and then for level 9, you also have to find 2 of them. So it's also harder to search for them at that time.
Gotcha.
Too. So not only is the mission harder, but it's harder to get them. But
yeah, I wouldn't want to do that either.
Yeah, I'm just. I keep saying let's just stick at 7. I don't want to go past that at that point. Like some of that shit gets hard enough, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Griffin and I bumped up to easy instead of trivial.
Nice. Okay.
We're closing bug holes and shit. He's
good
doing
stuff.
Great with it. It's awesome.
Good.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
What is his weapon of choice?
Right now, I talked him into the sickle.
Yes.
I died once, and I told him to pick up my weapon, and he's like, "This is great." But he also had a breaker that he just unlocked that he really likes.
The breaker's a great weapon.
Yep. And they nerfed the slugger.
They nerfed the slugger.
Yeah.
One thing they did do is they so if you have the first premium warbond, they buffed the incendiary breaker.
Oh, okay.
So they buffed that.
That's easier to get. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also really like using the blitzer on bugs, and that's the bolt shotgun. Yep. It works really well on bugs, not so much on bots. The bots will mow you down if you're using that. But I usually use the sickle on the bots, and I'll use the sickle's so good. And then I'll use the
that's in the premium warbond, right?
It's on the new premium warbond. Yeah, it's the sickle is the first weapon you unlock. The blitzer is the third one on the 3rd page. But it's good stuff, man. It's a great game. I highly suggest it to anybody who's on PC or PS5. It's great.
Yeah.
Agreed. Anyone else playing anything? That's it? We good?
That's it for me, yeah. That's all I got.
I don't even know what's in there's got to be a game coming at the end of April, isn't there?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I know I'm missing, well, besides Stellar Blade, we talked about. I thought there was something else coming out in April, but maybe not. I have to look.
I'm good.
I mean, I don't want.
Man.
I'm in no rush. I still have. I have to go back to Infinite Wealth eventually too. So I am back the fuck up. You know what's not back the fuck up? More like back the fuck on.
Oh, nice.
We got one little piece of news here. Remember that Knights of the Old Republic remake? That whole kerfuffle happened with Aspire and Saber and Embracer, and I would have bet money that shit was done. Dead. Was totally dead. But no, the CEO Matt Karch, I think his name is. I didn't pull out. I think it's something along those lines. He was in an interview and he said that no, it's alive and well. When they split from Embracer, they took the IP with them, which is good. It doesn't seem like Aspire's anywhere close to this, which is also good because the last few things they did were just not good. Can I say good again? Good.
I think you're good.
Yeah, so he's saying, it's probably going to be a ways off, of course, because they essentially started it over at some point, but they are they kind of can't wait to show what they have when they can. And so all your KOTOR fans out there, myself included, you guys, it's gonna happen in maybe 2028 or something like that, but it's gonna happen apparently. So. Yeah,
nice.
I hope it's good.
I hope they do it. Like that's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking in April, Geoff, and I don't see anything else that's really jumping out at me here.
Okay.
The only thing that I know that I was semi interested in was their Tales of Kenzara. It's something that's kind of obscure and more towards me, but it's apparently another Metroidvania type game, and it looks like that one's day one on PS Plus Plus.
Oh.
I think it's Plus Plus. Hold on.
There is another news
premium and extra tier, so Plus Plus, yeah.
Okay. There is another news thing. The developers of Dead Cells apparently are working on a Prince of Persia roguelite game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's going to be in early access at some point. I don't remember all the details because I literally just thought about it right now. That's something I saw earlier this week. So I thought we'd be interested in that. Jason likes Dead Cells.
I do love Dead Cells.
I trust them to do anything.
Fantastic.
I want to see whatever they put out. Definitely.
Yeah. Hopefully. I still need to go back and do the Dead Cells Castlevania. I haven't done that yet.
That's pretty cool.
So, yeah. We got to do that.
That's it, guys.
Cool. I think that's a show, gents.
Mm-hmm.
Think so.
Awesome. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please tell a few friends about us and like, subscribe, and comment. All of those things really help us out, and we would love to hear your feedback on the show or suggestions for anything that you may want to hear us talk about. Check us out on our Linktree at interactivedistractions.com. From there, you can get to our Discord, and you should come by and chat with us. We'd love to hear from you. And if you want to support us, check out our Patreon. But that's it for today. So until next time, my name is Chris.
I'm Jason.
No, I'm Geoff.
Play your games, and we'll talk to you next week.